PJ, it's nice to see that the boys haven't messed you up a little bit. And I was wondering if I could be alone, but with Kylie.
Whatever you want. Yes. Your time. This is your time. Go get it. Go get it.
Those are some hilarious scenes you have on the airplane with Colin Paolo.
Yes.
Talk about how long you were there in an airplane scene filming those moments, and were any of that improv?
Yes. And yes. Yes. I do a lot of work before I get there, so I try to at least try to bring some stuff. Sort of the way I mean, I like to sort of have some stuff armed that's not trite and ready to throw in. I do the classic, classical theater training of like, what's my super objective and what I want for the scene and the arc and all that. But memorize obviously it happens pretty quickly. I think with all actors now because it's like if you have a reason to say something, but I let it all go and then I'm just present because, Colin's going to bring something that's going to move me some way. And then we start playing around a little bit. And then if it sort of gets empty, I'll throw some of my little Christmas presents into the mix. But that's why I love playing this character because he's this priest and he starts to show off right in crisis. You don't get to know him. He's just like immediately in crisis. And to me, that was so exciting. Like I didn't have to do any exposition as far as like, oh, what's his life like in Chicago? It was just like crisis.
And there's no tears, only laughter.
Thank you, my love. And he's still, but that's his thing. That's his safe spot because he's always trying to pick everybody else up. So he's very childlike, and his way to he's always screwing up his courage to not be down for everyone else. So he's trying that technique on himself because he is lost. He is lost.
Well, Kylie, we know that Piper is the hometown police officer. What kind of backstory were you given about her? Has she come back to the town? Has she just always lived there and now she feels a sworn duty to protect it?
What kind of backstory was I given about her? I had a series of chats with Patty McRae, the show creator, who I adore, who we all adore. Thank you, Patty.
Terrible, right? Terrible. Yeah.
Piper definitely messed up in the city. And she was on her way to ultimate stardom in her chosen field. The way her brain works is she should really be kind of like that FBI agent kind of style, but there's no kind of role like that in little old Clump in far north Queensland. So she had to leave her small town and go and chase her dream. Something happened in the city. I don't quite know what that was, but I do know the impact of that forced her to retreat and go back to Clump and just gather herself, go back to where she started, what inspired her to become a police officer in the first place, get connected with that. And while she's doing that and get acquainted with her family and hook back up with her high school sweetheart and kind of feel like, maybe this is where I belong. She's grappling with that inside for sure. Then the new Reverend comes to town. And all of a sudden, these sparks kind of happen for her where she goes, oh, actually, no, I have this skill set where I can get to know people, watch people, investigate, even maybe when I shouldn't. That's kind of, for me, like the current of Piper. And I loved getting into this character so much and bringing that to the forefront. She's quite textured and layered, and audiences will get to see that when they get into Irreverent, and I can't wait for that.
I love her relationship with Daisy as well. She kind of seems like a surrogate little sister. Is that how it was explained to you as well, or is this just another townsperson that her father's away often, so she really just wants to keep her on the straight and narrow?
Such a great question. I love Piper's relationship with Daisy. She looks out for her, and not just as you would have picked up in a cop sense, looking out for a youth in town, but there's definitely a connection there. And that's what I love about this show. As PJ speaks to the show often, the touchstone of community and how everyone's connected, especially in small towns. If you're from a small town, you know that you know everyone. She's probably babysitted Daisy at one point when she was little. You just kind of, you jump in, you pitch in. It's the village mentality. So she definitely wants to keep an eye on Daisy and help her where she can, because she knows this kid hasn't had, the easy road. So, you know, a little bit of a helping hand for people can go an absolute long way. And of course, with young girls or young women, they need that. They need a protector at times. And so Piper definitely feels obligated to kind of be there for her.
PJ, Paolo's version of freedom seems to really resonate with Mackenzie to an extreme. Is he, I mean, is the separation from his wife finally set him on a path where he wants to have a little bit of selfishness? Or has Paolo sort of convinced him that right now freedom is the best option because there are no, I mean, options are limitless at this point for the good Reverend.
Yeah, I think he literally is at the bottom of the abyss, and he is so lost because he's done everything right his whole life. He found this woman he loves. He cared, you know, he found his parish, and that is so blown up in his world. And he just hears the idea of like freedom that he says it, and he hears Paolo speak to him, going, "There is no God. If you see something, take it." And that just resonates within him, and you know, he takes something from the man who told him that. So that's why he takes $1.6 million, and he's gonna go have a hell of a time and live a life that he's never had a chance to live before, and hopefully find answers in that. But you know, our answers in money, our answers in materialism. Tune in Thursday night.
I was just going to say that all of those things and everything we discussed, and even what Kylie mentioned that you tend to bring up, seem to make this series full of heart, and definitely you bring the humor as well. So I'm really looking forward to more people getting to check out Irreverent.
That's all we want.
I think it's here to stick around.
That's what we want to hear. That's perfect.
We hope you're right, Jamie.
Fingers crossed.
Make a couple calls for us, Jamie. I'll make some calls. You make some calls.
Well, I'm worried about you, PJ, because you said the writing was bad, and I'm gonna have to edit that out.
Yeah, cut that out. Cut that out. Don't you dare. Oh my God, no, Patty's the bazam, dude. He's the bazam.
Well, thank you both so much for your time. Always great to catch up with you, PJ, and nice to meet you, Kylie.
Nice to meet you too.
Bye, my love. Take care.